Greetings, I am Lies.
How we have done something unprecedented because I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Whoops.
We ran really long on the last episode, and then we wrapped up our point, and so we started here in the middle of a conversation, which we haven't done in this series before, but we've done it a lot in other series with a different format. So here we go.
Come on.
Now, it's not just the house, it's the money. And Lily's being realistic about this thing and going, that was a piece of plot that both of us went, did he just say if you inherit? And she didn't react at all, and now we're reacting to it. It feels a little odd. So if I don't finish before the deadline, then I don't get that either.
Except the problem is that you literally fucking don't have money to be doing what you're doing. I am still confused going, how the hell is she doing this? She's literally just putting this on her tab? Like, you're really gonna fucking tell me that she's just going to everybody going, I'll pay you later. I'll pay you later. I'll pay you later.
The entire town.
Hey, would you like me to pay you later? Hey, I know you need money, you need food to survive, but I'll pay you later.
Or her going, basically,
what?
I am using the credit card that I accumulated when I was with Blaine. I've got a $50,000 limit. I'm at like $40,000 now.
I was about to say, we're only on like day 18. She better not have only $50,000 on that card because she is screwed.
I'll start using, the card that he gave me that he hasn't deactivated yet when we were dating, and I'll pay it back, I promise. I'm like, the thing is
my God.
Again, the problem of going, if they're going to use money as a convention, they need to use money as a convention. Does this concrete not cost anything? Does wood not cost anything? Do flowers not cost anything? Does ornamentation not cost anything? Does the pet store give away fish for free?
And honestly, that would be a good thing to establish, going, where does then your money basically apply? Because it seems like your money really doesn't matter except for her to go, oh no, I've spent money. And we're going, where? I don't know, but I've spent money.
Well, it's going to be expensive to pay Regina. Buying things isn't expensive, but paying people is.
Okay,
that's
so
what I'm getting. That
getting services from people costs money, which is fascinating.
But getting items is free.
Which
Based
is
on
weird.
This. Items are free, supplies are free, decorations are free, rocks are free, landscaping and trees are free, concrete and mortar is free, but people's time and energy costs money. Free. So that's the problem I'm still having with this and going, how are you paying for this right now? And again, the anxiety of this situation based on how they've set it up, the discomfort. And also I'm going, if I don't finish before the deadline, I don't get either. Thing is you wouldn't have gotten either anyway. You thought initially you were going to inherit the house and the money, and then you found out you didn't have any money that you inherited. Then you found out you weren't going to inherit the house unless you did certain things. Then you found out the money didn't exist. Then you found out, oh yeah, it's still just like before, house and money, but you won't get it if you don't do all these things. So she's going, and now it's even worse, even though it's the same as it was when I first started the situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Because her first introduction is, you are filthy, stinking rich. You've got a whole house and a giant property, and a huge amount of money has just been given to you. And then he shows up with a caveat going, you only get these if you do the garden.
Yes.
And then she's like, and now it's different. It's like, no, this is back to the beginning.
This is the same way.
Back to the start. Oh,
You'll finish? How much more could there possibly be? We've got a lot of gray space.
Regina, use your eyeballs. Also, you know what? Actually, that's a really good question. Let's go get my inheritance, the map, the paperwork that I got when I inherited, and it'll have a description of the property parameters as legally defined by the town or county, and then we will figure out exactly how big it is.
Yep.
Because the parameters of a property when you own it, or the parameters of any property, are legally defined by, the town or county that you're in as being a certain size and reaching a certain distance, and property lines are quite exact. And so you go and you look that up, and then you know. Poof, done. Ta-da! All right.
You finished. How much more could there possibly be?
Please find some wood to knock on. This suggests you don't actually remember. And then later you're going to say you do remember.
Oh, no, I remember. Honestly, we have been kind of annoyed. Like, she goes, I didn't remember this at all. No, I totally remember this. But, like, I get it, but it's like every place now is, I didn't remember this. Oh, I remember this. I didn't remember this. I remember this.
I remember that, but I was ignoring it. You never mentioned it to us.
Wow, thanks.
Well, there's giant, huge pieces of timber holding up your brand new roof. You can knock on those, and hopefully the giant cracks and then won't make them fall down.
I'm loving this double set of stairs.
Cool. And when we fix the bottom set, you know what it's going to do? It's going to unlock the fog underneath there, and I'll suddenly remember what's down there. I think.
Maybe. I feel like I could stand up there with a big scroll and be like,
announcing things.
Attention! I have crushes on the following actors and actresses.
Okay, that is so random and also adorable.
That
like,
is...
what would I want, as Regina, what would I want to share with the world? I suddenly have a platform. What am I going to do? I have crushes on these things. It'd be like someone going, okay, I finally have a platform. Gets up on soapbox. I I love fan fiction of these fandoms. Whee! All Might is baby, and you all use him wrong. Bye.
And this has been a message from Lies.
Hi. Okay, your turn on the soapbox, and they're like, by the way, the internet is for porn. If you don't know that meme, it is totally a meme.
It's really funny. So if you want to go watch something that's super entertaining, go watch or listen to The
Internet is for Porn.
The Avenue Q, The Internet is for Porn.
Yes.
It's really funny. All right. Finally, actors and actresses. And then the scroll would unroll and comically roll down both sets of stairs.
That's adorable. You've really put a lot of thought into Sarah. I love that so many, but also I think it's really great actors and actresses. That's very charming.
I mean,
that is direct representation.
I
Assuming
know.
what crushes mean.
I know. Okay, so this is something that's about me.
Okay.
I have found this to be very difficult sometimes to interact with media, or interact sometimes where people are like, I want to be represented, and I love that I'm being seen here, and this is great. I feel like I'm here in this space.
Yes.
And part of my problem is going, like, especially in terms of, like, big corporations or companies like this, I understand that they are still made by people.
Yes.
What bugs me, though, is that these are also, though, vetted by people who are in charge going, this won't ruin or simply will add to basically our street cred.
So,
people will go, wow, you're so inclusive. You're this thing.
So,
this is basically enough worth mentioning. This will add to us rather than take away money from us, because that's how basically, in my experience, being LGBTQIA+ has always been fucking used. There's also a lot of it basically, although, like, using even basically people of color in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of people going, here's your diverse points. It won't insult or take away from the white focus enough.
But it's there to sell to that audience as well.
And I'm like, I don't want to say don't do it, but I am so fucking conflicted most of the time of going, like, I feel like basically bought and sold out. People going, do you ever see yourself in anything? And I go, no, because what I see over and over and over again, even in regards to where some people are really like, this is my experience and I'm sharing this, and I'm like, wow, that's similar to my experience. I in that way can feel seen. I get very uncomfortable because I'm going, these people are having to basically, to me, carve out bits of their lives for the internet, for whomever, so that they have the right to live because they're allowed to then sell it.
Additionally, you get the story of going, we want to appeal to the audience. And this is that one where I've talked about with Lily's Garden again, and I think it speaks to my friend's point, I hope so.
Okay.
Of going, it seems like they're trying to hit that millennial and Gen Z audience kind of thing, going, here's the right language. I have actors and actresses. Again,
supernatural.
Maybe it doesn't have a gender. It's just a pond after all. These kinds of things.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to go to my therapist, and then they miss it completely, and I mock you about my therapist kind of thing. And going, you're somewhere between the success of inclusion and the joke that is now avocado toast.
Yes.
Which you also used. And it feels very hollow and very gimmicky that way. And a lot of, like, comedy media really does that way. And I don't mean like individual comedians, I mean like built media to sell.
Right.
That is from a group, is really just, we threw in as many fun or cute jokes or as many references or connect points that we could. We didn't bring them all together. They're just blips of let's pull you in because it feels relatable.
Right.
And those relatable pieces feel very hollow in the way that, as my friend has mentioned, a token character of one kind or another can feel very hollow because even if you love the character, that they were put there and written there for the marketing.
This is kind of one of those reasons where I have been frustrated, basically, about dating games of going like, what we have here is people that are going to appeal to you, specifically so that they will be appealing so that you might spend money on us or at least spend your time. So say, like, in regards to, like, the Genius games, you'll watch ads. Mm-hmm. And this is not to shit on them. The thing is that I feel like in the end, what it really comes down to is me just being frustrated, basically, with the capitalistic model. I do want people to be able to survive. I want them to be able to exist, but I cannot fucking come to terms with the fact that, again, I've watched fantastic queer artists of all kinds basically go, here are things about my life. Here's me about writing, basically empowering a problematic material in order to either bring attention to it or just to basically write about it because it's a thing that's there and it's made the fuck up. And you know what? People have weird fantasies and that's fine. Like that is a thing that happens, okay? And and it's happened for years, even before people who were explicitly queer ever talked about it. Like,
and this is in reference to monetization?
But like the big thing is then they're going like, but you're still having to do it, and sometimes because it's controversial, or basically will turn heads of going, wow, like it's that weird pointed, look at me, I've done this thing. I don't know, what I call it, I guess, virtue signaling of going, look what I've done.
It may be that kind of thing of going, if money wasn't a thing you needed, if you never needed basically financial validation from other people, if this is good because we'll buy it, if you never needed financial support from other people, how would you spend your time? Would you really spend your time making squinkies, making squishmallows, making,
Beanie
like
Babies.
plastic sunglasses? Would you spend your time, painting custom shoes? Would you spend your time, basically gardening and selling the produce? What would you spend your time doing if you didn't need the money? When you were writing your book, would you ever make a decision going, well, this might not sell well, so I should change it? Oh, well, you should make them straight because that will sell better. Oh, well, that character, you shouldn't have too many ethnic characters because it won't sell as well. We shouldn't make everyone ethnic just for the sake of making them ethnic. White people do exist.
Right.
I've actually heard that argument of going, there's so many books where they just insist that everyone's ethnic now, and you know what? There's still white people, and that bothers me. Because we're not trying to exclude you. Every house is not on fire.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
And anyway,
my God.
It just, sometimes I wonder how people's lives would be different and what they would do differently with their time if they weren't afraid of whether it would sell or not. Sometimes I wonder what kind of video game series, because both of us like to do games, and we like to even just have a record of how much fun we've had together and what we thought at that time. It's sort of like keeping a journal and kind of a record of our friendship, which is sort of a cool ass thing.
Right.
Even if no one's watching. And what games we might play if we weren't trying to pull in an audience, or how we might approach them if we weren't specifically trying to be appealing to you guys.
Right.
And even if largely this is who we are, we still sometimes make choices and go, we dropped Lily's Garden originally because it wasn't much of an interest group to it. And then we picked it back up because someone asked, which was wonderful, and we appreciate Miss Kiwi Cat a lot.
Yes, fantastic, absolutely.
But it's one of those things of going, we choose games sometimes based on how popular they are right now. Or we pitch topics sometimes based on how popular they are right now. Not because we care and want to do this game right now when it's coming out, but because that's good marketing.
And that's really fucking frustrating to feel basically like, literally, we can't do the things, like we can't do most of what we enjoy doing if we don't basically appeal to the algorithm, as it were.
Also able to do
on top of the trends,
as Mr. Burns would say, as an amusing trick.
Yeah.
All right. You've really put a lot of thought into this scenario. It is a really cute idea, though. I love Regina just, standing all the way at the top and just going, here's my crushes, and then dropping it. The scroll rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls.
Honestly, it sounds like a Mulan reference, but that's me.
It's okay.
I've watched a lot of cartoons.
I know how these things work. It's fine.
And I have a lot of crushes.
That's very cute.
Also, I'm like, that's very entertaining because my brain goes, so you have a lot of cartoon crushes? That's adorable.
Oh, here we go.
Aha!
Here we go. Cartoon crushes are very charming, honestly. All right. Well, no scrolls are going to comically bounce down these stairs if they're broken. They're not really broken. They're just old and worn out. And honestly, those stairs are way less worn out than a lot of other things that were in your garden. Just FYI. But here we go.
Hi.
Here we go.
Nope, we're just not going to see it at all. I imagine...
I kind of want to do this one because I don't know what it's leading into. But I feel like it stops the Zen garden instead of saying there's more Zen garden down here.
I don't think anything else though is down there. So I think that I like your idea. I like your argument for that.
Like, let's separate it into something else. Okay, here we go. Sterific?
Sterific?
I want it to be sterific. But it's okay. Sterific.
Guess I need to buy some parchment now. The world needs to know from the TV who I want to smooch.
This seems a little bit wild.
It sort of also seems kind of meta. Like a level going, then the world from the TV needs to know who I want to smooch. And you're like...
The world needs to know who from the TV I need to smooch.
I know, but
which
also
is a little bit of an awkward sentence on its own, honestly.
Yeah, but I'm also like, it's sort of like weirdly meta in that sense of going, I'm also a character and I have
on
characters
TV?
that I character about.
It's a little bit of like, I'm a fictional character and I'm talking about fictional characters, but theoretically those fictional characters are back in your real world. So this fictional character has crushes on fictional characters in your real world.
So that, you can...
Which are actually real characters.
So there was a point that I meant to make before. I know that some people got angry about the article that I remember reading. I can't remember if it was from the New York Times or whatever it was. But there was a specific, basically, person who was talking about basically the bane of the word relatability.
Oh, okay.
Where that it had replaced either familiarity or basically like the idea of that you're sympathetic, like that, or I can comprehend what's going on. Okay. Basically, where to them, as someone who critiqued things, that they found that relatable was so fucking frustrating because people, you're not supposed to relate to them. They're fucking made up characters. You can't relate to them because they're not real.
Right.
And there's that kind of thing, or at least how I took it, because that was the thing that I've thought about, and I think about it regularly, obviously, because we're dealing with a lot of fictional material, and sometimes I go like, God, that feels like me, but it's also like, but they're not in any way, shape, or form you. This is an entire written out, edited process. Many people are involved in this kind of thing, and I don't want to take stuff away from people, but I'm also like that thing of where I was talking about earlier, too, of being like, relatability is also a way that people will use to manipulate you. And that's the way that also people will talk about, you know, like, where they go, what do you want to see in relation to your queer identity being, you know, seen in the world? Or if there was anything in the media that could be more relatable to you, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't want any of it. Because I don't want people to hurt me or use me.
Or sell my identity back to me.
Right?
And the thing is
like that thing about here, like actually a bunch of people talked about, like, for example, like with the breast cancer pins, where a lot of those things are actually more for profit than they are really for donating. There was a big, huge fiasco in relation.
With Komen for the Cure, actually, was one of the biggest ones. In the same way that people have had some issues with Autism Speaks and how they spend their money and where they put it. And I do not know enough about either to give a good, valid, opinion on it. But I do know that there is a huge call for charities to show exactly what the hell they're doing with their money and how much of it goes where.
And that personally is also for me going like, because in the end, money is the ultimate motivator. And if you don't have money, you die. Mm. Like, it really is. Like, to me, it just feels like cutting off my arm and going, here.
I'll sell it back to you.
Then I'll give it to you so you can sell it back to me. My arm that was mine. Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know how to describe, like, I don't know if it even makes sense.
It's a very personal experience, and it might be hard to describe, but if you feel something like that and you want to, like, share or try and help add words to what Scandal's trying to describe here, because I feel it too, but I don't have better words for it either. At any rate, smooch.
Yes, smooch away!
All right, is it open new area?
Nope.
Oh, it's repair lower railing. All right, here we go.
We're going to keep repairing it down below.
And we're going to carefully repair it without looking past it.
This is so what? I'm like, why is he going away?
Very carefully repair it without looking into the fog.
That seems hilarious.
Is it even foggy in the cutscene?
Look at it still is. Let's add some railings here and get these stairs OSHA compliant.
Yes!
Hey!
Finally an OSHA mention, because we mention OSHA all the time. This isn't a workplace.
However,
my dear, if you ever rent this out to anyone,
you need insurance.
It's important to be safe.
I
guess it's my workplace and yours part-time.
That makes you my boss. Guess I have to report you to the authorities for reckless rejection of railings.
Nope, we're gonna rail right now. Rail away. What? No, I liked rail away. Let's rail it.
Rail away, rail away, rail away. Come here. Show me what you want to do for the railings.
Okay, that just said. Come here, show me what you want to do for the railings.
Come on, honey.
Regina does the half-mast eyes. Come here. Show me what you want to do for these railings. Lily. Whoa. And she's even got the right hands like, whoa, spicy.
Hi. Whoa, girlfriend.
Okay.
And I could do quite literally mean girlfriend.
Into the fog.
Still.
Okay, I'm again going to try and separate the two. Oh, that's cute, though.
They have different flowers.
No. Okay, here you actually could have a freaking hedge, okay?
Oh.
You really could.
But there is a hedge.
Like I said, you actually could have the goddamn hedge.
I don't know what's down there, though. Okay, we probably will change it, but we'll see. I like...
You've been trying so freaking hard to have a hedge where it can't be there. Let's find and do it. Rail-licious. They're not rails anymore now that it's a hedge.
Hedges are not rails.
Actually, what is with the hedge option? Even in reference to the dialogue, it doesn't work.
Okay, you're up to code now. I'll let you off with a warning this time. Except that that's actually not up to code.
Okay,
guys.
Hedge. Who is going to be able to rail their staircases with hedges? You walk through the fire escape in a building, there's a hedge along the railway leading down.
I need to know. Honestly, so is this basically like we're going into solar punk, aesthetic?
Yes. You walk into the, to the stairwell of your apartment. There's a brilliant, huge skylight up at the top, all the way down that's growing the plants that are the railing to your stairs.
Right.
And you're just like, ta-da! Don't fall through the edge, by the way. It's still just plants.
Right.
Oh. Also, not really good for handrails, so let's talk about, like, being supportive with adaptive equipment here. Handrails are not just for safety, they're also for function. Some people use them for support.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you can't use a hedge for support very well. It's not good to lean on.
Nope, not at all.
All right. Oh, knock it off. Snitches. Oh, really?
That's really aggressive.
That is so aggressive.
Okay, so this is actually a big workplace culture problem.
Okay.
Like, and I call it a problem because when like people don't report when things aren't being used properly, when stuff isn't working properly,
when they get hurt.
When they get hurt.
I hate workplaces where people
we
don't
actually
report their
had
injuries.
so I will say, for credit where credit is due to me. The company that I worked at, and yes, I know how wildly ironic that sounds, but the company that we both worked at actually had a really low rate in regards to like injuries and damages.
And a really good safety program. It was a very intensive safety program.
Yes, very involved. Like, whoa, big time. And it was actually really interesting. So once our company was actually bought out by a larger food manufacturing company, they were bought into, so they adapted them because we were a gluten-free facility. And so they really liked basically how we did things, and they wanted to have a gluten-free part of their company. So they bought us out, and then what happened is as soon as we went into the safety meetings, we started discovering that what we were reporting versus what they were reporting
was wildly different. We'd be reporting like extreme blisters or like bonks or like, you know, like basic pinched fingers. They were reporting broken limbs. Our level of incident was you got a bruise, and we need to know how to prevent that in the future. So their level of incident was someone broke a limb. And we're like, bruises are not acceptable. Light burns are not acceptable. Light cuts
blisters
are not acceptable. Small cuts are not acceptable. Even getting cut by the cardboard boxes you are working with should not be happening in a healthy working environment. You get protective gloves.
Because they never want, because the thing is so people talk about basically where it was a level of almost like slippery slope, right? Where you're going like, if you think that bruises are okay, eventually, you do get to the point where, well, I guess, you know, like you bruised a bone is okay.
Or going basically, if you don't think really closely
ankle
about your injuries and the safety of your environment, you're not thinking about the whole safety of your environment. If you're not thinking about paper cuts being a safety issue, you're not probably going to think about how you're holding your knife being a safety issue. You're not probably going to think about how you're standing and whether you're balanced being an issue. If you're not thinking about whether or not you could fall being an issue or whether or not you slip on the ladder being an issue, you might not think about how the ladder stood. So it's a whole awareness program.
It is one of those things about regulations are really important. Now we're going to keep going. We got to get this to
I know. Knock it off. Snitches get stitches, which is really aggressive and always
don't
really
like it. All right.
Uncomfortable.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or our Patreon if you'd like to support us, tip us, or just in general, actually sponsor us to play a game, which would be super awesome. Or sponsor us continually while we're playing the games that we are playing. It would be super awesome. Beyond that, though, I have been Scandal.
And that's Route 66.
We had, I know.
And I have been Lies. And it was great playing with you. Bye!